Good morning. Welcome to 9:30 yoga through the warehouse. I'm honored to be here to guide you through class. Just remember, I'm your guide for the class, but your body is a better guide. So remember to follow your body's cues, and if something doesn't feel right, back out gently, come back to center, and take good care of yourself through the series, right? You can still push yourself and challenge yourself, but we don't want to cause any strains. I'm honored to be here too in alignment with the warehouse. There is a donate button on the screen if you would like to make a donation for today's class. We are always appreciative of all donations, and they go to a great cause for the Community Arts Center in Eagle River. So thank you for that. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position. And I do mean comfortable. This is a comfortable way for me to sit without anything under my hips. But if you have another way of sitting and need something, support or whatever, please do that. All right. So let's get started on this hour of self-care. Breathing deeply, exhaling completely, bringing your focus into the moment. Remember, the breath and the pose we're in brings your focus to the moment, and that's key because that's what we're going for. Letting go of anything that happened before this class, letting go of anything that may or may not happen after the class. So taking full and complete breaths and expelling all of the air out of the lungs so you can have room for fresh oxygen to come in on the next breath. So breathing deeply, coming to center, feel the root center sinking in. Feel the pull towards the earth that will keep you grounded in your poses. Feel the lift of the crown that will keep you buoyant. Think of the inhales as a lifting and the exhales as a sinking in. And that line of energy, that hara line extending between the 2 points. I want you to take one hand and put it at your heart center, and the other hand and put it a couple of inches below the navel. And as you breathe, feel those two areas. Now taking your lower hand and placing it on top of the other hand on the heart center, taking a deep inhale. And on the exhale, allow the head to bow forward. If there's an intention you'd like to set for the class, this is a great time to do it. If not, just feel the stretch in the back of the neck, possibly down into your shoulder blades. Inhaling the head back to center. Keeping the hands intact, taking a look to the right. Through center, a look to the left. Back to center. Allow the arms to drop down. Inhaling them up, looking up through the hands if that works for your neck. Holding that position, making sure the shoulders stay down. Room between the shoulders and earlobes. Palms face behind you, dropping the palms down to the shoulder blades, lifting through the elbows. Try not to let the elbows splay out. Keep them up towards the ceiling. If it's an uncomfortable position for you, you come back to hands at the heart and just breathe. Reaching back up with the hands. Dropping the one hand down and taking a side stretch. A half moon position, keeping the hips neutral. Allowing the arm to drop down, taking the other arm up first, inhaling, and exhale into the side bend, the half moon modification. Coming through center, same thing, arm raises, exhaling into the stretch. This time we're going to drop the gaze and the shoulder down to the earth, getting a twist through the upper body, thoracic really, through the rib cage. Inhaling back up through center, opposite arm comes up, taking the side stretch, dropping the gaze and the shoulder. Shoulder comes back up through center. One more time for that same stretch. So lifting up and out of the waist, taking the half moon, dropping the gaze and shoulder. Lifting back up with that shoulder and head coming through center. One more time. Inhale. Exhale into the bend. Dropping the shoulder and gaze. Lifting back to center. Inhaling the arms up again. Prayer hands come down to the heart center. Taking a breath in. And then inhaling, exhaling the palms forward, stretching the palms and fingers. Bring it in, bringing some movement into the wrists. Press it forward again. Bring it in, roll it out. Nice. We're going to shift positions, hand towards the front of the mat, into tabletop. So that means shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. If you have wrist issues, you can back off a little, opening up that angle a bit. You can always bring the forearms down if you need to. Cat-cow. Crown and tail lift, stomach slings on the inhale. Crown and tail drop, stomach pulls in on the exhale. A few rounds at your own pace. One more round after the round you're on. Tucking the toes under as you sink the hips back into puppy dog pose. Reach the hands as far forward as you can, gazing at the front of the mat. Coming back into tabletop. Taking the hips side to side, shoulders and head go to the opposite side. Taking it to one side and holding the stretch. Through center to the other side, hold it. Coming back to center, sinking into Balasana or Child's Pose. Let the forearms and palms stay in contact with the mat, hairline down, hips towards the heels. You can open the knees if that works for your skeleton. Take a couple of deep grounding breaths in Balasana. Feeling your body heavy towards the earth. Sinking in. Dropping the elbows, palms reach for the shoulder blades. Forearms and palms return down. Coming up onto the forearms, hips rise. Circle the hips in one direction. Keep it going. Circling the hips. Now stop and change directions. And then sinking back into child's pose, tucking the toes under. Reaching forward with the arms, coming back into tabletop, taking the right leg back. Taking an inhale. On the exhale, knee comes through towards the forehead. Exhaling. Inhale, back out. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, stretch it back, neutral hip. Back in one more time, extending. This time looking ahead of you, engaging the back of the neck, those muscles. And then drop the head, knee comes towards the forehead. Hold on to that position for one breath. Knee comes down, other leg extending back. Inhale. Drop the head, knee comes through. Pull in the stomach. Inhale, extend. Pull it through. Inhale, extend. Pull it through, knee towards the forehead. Extend, this time looking up in front of you. And then bring it in, hold that position for a breath. Knee comes down, sink back into child's pose, arms alongside the body, rolling the wrists, rock side to side with the hips if that feels good. Hands reach forward, stretch those arms as far forward as you can, coming up onto the fingertips. Head in line with the spine, walking the hands to the right, lateral flexion of the spine, keeping the hips heavy towards the heels. Breathe into any discomfort, any resistance. Walking it back to center, walking the hands to the left. Breathe into it. Back to center, hands flat. Come through tabletop, tucking the toes under into a downward facing dog. Remember, you can always stay in Balasana or a puppy dog pose if you choose. So coming into downward facing dog, sorry, I didn't know if I threw that far enough. Into downward facing dog, pedal it out. See where you're at. Coming up high on the ball mounds of the feet, heels towards the ceiling, bending the knees deeply, dropping the chest towards the thighs. So accentuate the extension of the spine. Hang on to it. One more breath, in and out, pedal it out. Walk the feet towards the front of the mat, toward the hands, ending up in an easy forward fold. Let the head hang heavy. Shake it, yes. Chest is towards the thighs. You can hug behind the legs if you choose. Making yourself as compact as possible. Compressing the hip flexors right at the hip crease there. Bent knees to protect the low back. Let the head hang heavy, stretching the neck out of the shoulders. Half lift, flat back monkey pose. Back down. Half lift. Back down. Half lift, arms come out. Just reaching to the sides, out of the shoulders. Dropping the chest down to thighs, bent knees, arms reach up. If you'd like, you can interlace. Otherwise, rest them on the hips. They can also stay at your side, beside your feet. So if you're interlacing, you're opening the shoulders. Keep the head in line with the spine. And then lift into a flat back. Arms swing forward. Back down, let the head relax. Rolling up, head comes up last. And then lifting the arms up. Prayer hands up high. Stay where you are. I'm going to turn to the side, half moon pose. So a true half moon position. To the right. You can take your left wrist with your right hand and accentuate the pose and the stretch if you choose. I'd say there's benefit in both. Inhaling back up. Up and out of the waist, exhaling to the other side. So you have to ask yourself, are you the person that needs to accentuate and make it go to the edge, or are you a person that needs to just relax into it? That's what I want you to do, whatever feels best. Coming through center, rolling the shoulders back as the arms drop. Coming back to center, inhaling, letting the head and shoulders roll forward. Lifting the toes, feeling the ball mounds and heels evenly on the mat, letting the toes come back down. Inhaling, lifting the crown, arms come up, reaching right and left. You're going to drop the right palm down to the shoulder blade. Take the left hand onto the right elbow. Take an inhale. And take a half moon pose again to the left. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So you're just assisting that, but not with the wrist, this time with the elbow. Coming back up. Arms extend, left arm bends, right hand on the left elbow, inhaling. And taking the half moon, guiding it with the hand, not pulling, but really keeping it stable. Maybe a little pull if that works. Coming back to center, arms come down, roll the wrists, let the shoulder blades melt down your back. Shake out the hands and wrists. Inhaling up, taking a forward fold, bending the knees. Half lift, flat back. Back down, take the left foot back into that high lunge. Plant your left hand, take the right arm up, twisting through the upper body. Hold on to it. You're on the ball mound of the back foot, all 10 toes pointing forward. Right hand comes down, step the feet together into forward fold, half lift, monkey pose, flat back. Back down, this time right foot goes back, high lunge. Too much for you, you can always drop that back knee down into a low lunge. Hands on either side of the foot, right hand plants. Left arm reaches, twisting through the upper body to the left. Feel the angles of energy here. One line of energy from palm planted to fingertips reaching. Breathe into it. Left hand comes down, step the feet together. Relax the head, half lift. Flat back. Back down, hands plant, stepping into downward facing dog. Opening the feet wide to the sides of the mat, bend the knees, you know where we're going. Right hand plants, left arm reaches. Toes, knees, hips, shoulders, all rotating to the left. You want more intensity, straighten the legs. You can dip the hips down towards the mat. Going into a full side plank if you'd like to. Left hand down, back to center, pedal it out a couple of times in down dog. Opening the feet wide. Left hand plants, this time right arm reaches. If you can keep that palm down on the mat, please do. And palm comes down into down dog. Walk or hop the feet to the front. Shake the head, yes. Half lift, flat back. Back down. Reversing all the way up. Prayer hands to the heart. Opening into a wide angle stance. So we're going to do some warriors and a triangle pose. So if you need any blocks or assist bolster or anything to assist that, go ahead and grab it. Feel the wide angle stance. Goal here is to have straight legs. Remember, if you're going to bend the knees, you don't want them coming in towards the center. You always want to keep the knees from caving in. Turning the right toes towards the front of the mat, front foot exactly parallel to the long side of the mat, back foot, outside edge parallel to the short edge. Inhaling the arms up and out. Bending into warrior two. Eventually, maybe you can get a right angle here on the front leg. Shoulders and head still facing the long side. Then, with intention, turn the head, looking over the front fingers. Don't let the torso reach forward. Hold on to it. Warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2, Sanskrit name. Feel your body in space. Where are your arms? Are they pretty even? Sometimes I just have to look. Let's reverse the warrior, keeping the legs constant, shifting the upper body. Right arm raises, left hand on the left leg or behind the back. Warrior two. Breathe into it. Extended side angle. One line of energy on that left side. Warrior two. Reverse again. Hang on to the reversal. Warrior two. Extended side angle again. You can rest that right forearm on the right thigh if you choose. A little more intensity, letting it drop down. Warrior two. Hold on to it. take a reversal this time, straightening the front leg. So we're reversing the triangle here. We're going to go into triangle after this. So if you need to shorten your stance a little, go ahead and do it. Arms come down, triangle's a straight leg pose. So we're going to take a torso shift, reaching, looking over the front hand as you bring the upper body down into your triangle. Remember, triangle can go thigh, hand on the thigh, hand on the lower leg, fingers brushing the mat. Lifting back up, centering the body, reversing. So opening up the side we just shortened, shortening the side we just stretched, bringing it down, second triangle, torso shifts first. I want you to get that position and then take the shift. So my stance is probably a little bit wide here because my hand is going down. So you guys stay in it, but sometimes you're going to have to adjust as you get more flexible so that you can allow the torso to come parallel to the earth. If that makes sense. Coming back to center, torso shifts back, take a reversal to open it up. Arms come back down. Let's take it into warrior two one more time. So I'm going to inch that foot out a little bit. Feel the strength in your legs, trusting your body. Arms drop, legs straighten, toes rotate. Breath in the center. Let's bring the feet together just to give the hips a break here. Pedaling it out, adjusting the clothes. Wide angle stance again. Right into the other side, left toes turn. Inhaling the arms up and out. Into warrior two. Drishti or focus over the front fingers. Lifted chest, open heart. Focused on where you're going. Taking a reversal. Legs stay constant here. Warrior two. Extended side angle. So I want you to get a feeling for that one line of energy. This is good and that's a good stretch, but I want you to feel this. This extended. One angle here, extended, back to warrior two. Keep the breath going, reverse. Warrior two. Extended side angle again. Warrior two. Taking a reversal, this time straightening the leg, the front leg. So we're preparing for triangle. The arms come down. Take the torso shift. And then going into triangle. So adjusting your stance as needed. Remember, you don't want the hips to jut back. It's as though you're in between two panes of glass. That's really going to give that back hip a good stretch on the outside. Lifting back up, inhaling. Take the reversal. Arms come back down. Inhale, reach. Second triangle, torso shifts. And take the stretch. And again, chest is lifted, arm raised. Inhaling back up. Take the reversal. Arms shift back down into warrior two. Arms drop, legs straighten, toes rotate, and walk your feet together, paddle it out. All right. So taking that wide angle stance again, inhaling the arms up, looking up between the hands. Arms drop down to the hips, inhaling, and taking a hinge at the hips, flat back. Head in line with the spine. Hanging onto it, let the weight drift slightly into the ball mounds of the feet. Inhaling back up. And exhaling back down. This time you can place the hands down, supporting the stretch, Prasarita Padottanasana. So make sure, maybe your feet are a little pigeon-toed here, if you can take those heels out slightly. And then let the upper body come down as your stretch happens, your pose, your practice, your body. You want to try and keep an elongated spine here. Weight in the ball mounds of the feet. Walking the hands to the right, taking the right toes out, 45. Taking the left arm up. Bending the right knee out over the foot. Don't let it collapse. I like to use my right arm as a guide for that. Taking the arm overhead. Reaching towards the front of the mat. Bringing the hand back down. Walking to the left. The hands go to the left. Right toes forward. Left toes out. Planting right outside edge of the foot, taking the right arm up. You can always keep the right arm down if you're not feeling stable enough. And then if it works for you, right arm reaching towards the back of the mat. Nice, straightening left leg, left toes forward, hands walk back to center. Take a stretch here. Heel toe, those feet, your feet in, hands plant inside and in front of the feet. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. You guys stay on the mat there where you are. Elbows pressing into the sides of the shins. Let the head hang heavy. On an inhale, spine extends. You can keep the hands down or reach forward. Back down on the exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Two more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back down. One more time. Inhale, reach. Hands back down. I'm going to turn back to center. Straightening the legs, walking the feet in towards each other just a bit. Half lift, flat back. And lifting all the way up with the upper body. Walking the feet together, pedaling out the knees, moving towards the front of the mat. So you're just going to lift your right foot up, knees together, balancing on your left foot. Guess I'm going to turn back towards you. You guys can stay at the front of the mat. So you're balancing on your left foot. You can stay here. If you want to go further, lifting that right knee up, interlacing on top of the shin. So we're doing basically a standing wind removing pose here, elbows in by your side, pulling the knee up towards the shoulder. Releasing, knees come back together. Inhaling the arms up to prayer, hands up high, arms come back down. Right foot comes down, paddle it out. Bring it back to center, feel your mountain pose. Root to crown up and down will really help with the balance. Bending the left leg, so notice my knee is not up here yet, right? We're gonna lift that in a bit, but keep the knees together. And then inhaling, knee comes up, stopping anywhere along the spectrum. Elbows in, pulling the knee towards the shoulder. Releasing, have to keep a steady gaze there. Knees come back together. Inhaling the arms up high. Prayer hands. Arms float down. Left foot comes down. Paddle it out. If you had to keep dropping that one foot, if your balance wasn't there, that's okay. Just adding a little bit of challenge there on one foot. Inhaling the arms up. Taking a forward fold, stepping back into plank position. Remember, the knees can drop if you choose. Into down dog. Into plank again. Into down dog, taking a three-legged dog. So right leg reaches back. Neutral hips to start. Right leg reaches high towards the ceiling. This time the hips are stacking open to the right. You can stay here or bend the right leg. If you want to flip the dog, feel free. Left heel eventually down, extended back, square shoulders. Right leg extends towards the ceiling again. Bring it through neutral. Right foot down, left foot reaches back. Neutral hips to start. Now the hips are stacking, opening to the left. Leg extending to the ceiling. Bend the leg if you choose. Square shoulders. Right heel down, eventually on the mat. Extend it back up. Coming back down with that left foot. Paddle it out, take it down into another plank position. Take it up. One more time. Plank position. You can always drop the knees down if you need to. And in fact, go ahead and bring the knees down into child's pose for a breath. And then coming up through tabletop, dropping the front of the body down, right ear on the mat, arms alongside the body. Toes fall in, heels fall open. Take a couple of breaths, acclimating to front body down on the earth. So we're going to take a floor bow pose. So you can stop anywhere along the spectrum. You want to make sure your head is in line with the spine. So the chin comes down tucked, bending the knees up. Bending the feet up, bending the knees, feet towards the ceiling. Now we're going to grab the tops of the feet. If you can't reach, then just stay in this position. Hands can go under and lifting the chest, right? That's going to be your modification. being very respectful of the spinal muscles. If you're with me with floor bone, you can reach your feet. First thing you're gonna do is kick the feet into the hands. I'm turning my head just so you can hear me, but I'd prefer you to keep your head in line with the spine, please. Don't want to hurt the neck or strain the neck muscles. So, first step, kicking the feet into the hands, pulling the shoulders open, and then if it feels good, lifting the head and the shoulders, stopping anywhere along the line. This is a very intense pose. Floor bow. Slowly the head comes down, chin tucks, releasing the feet down to the mat, opposite ear on the mat, and let your body come back to neutral. It's a very intense pose. The other modification you can take while you're taking a couple of breaths, you can think about this. You can always do one leg, other arm comes out, and reach that way. So there's a few modifications. If it doesn't feel good, I just want you to relax on your front side down. If it's too intense, a back bend. For those of you joining me, head back to neutral, bending the knees. You're grabbing the feet from the outside, thumbs and fingers all together. Don't separate the thumbs out. Head is neutral. Don't let the knees splay out here. And keep the knees and the hips neutral. On an inhale, the first step, kicking the feet into the hands. And then, if it feels good, lifting the shoulders and head. Slowly releasing. Arms come down, opposite ear on the mat, and give your back and your spinal muscles a chance to come back to center, neutral. If it feels good for you, bending the knees, feet towards the ceiling, opening the knees slightly and letting the lower legs go side to side. And take the feet into some range of motion, switching the ear on the mat. Letting the legs come down. Hands come underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes under, and lifting into Balasana. Untuck the toes. Arms relax at your sides. Breathing into it. Coming up through tabletop, going into cat position, crown and tail drop, rounding the back. Taking it into cow, inhaling, and then into cat position again. Really let the head hang heavy. Nice shifting positions here. Having a seat on the mat. Legs out in front of you. Pedal the knees out. That was an intense back bend. So taking a breath in and let the head and shoulders roll forward. You can keep a bend in your knees if you choose. Inhaling the body back up. Arms raise. Reaching forward, taking the arms underneath the lower legs and the knees. So you can keep a bend in the knees as you take a forward fold. Hinging at the hips, extending the back. And then once you do that, you can let your head relax down. inhaling back up, taking the soles of the feet together, taking the arms underneath the lower legs, grasping the feet, and allowing your upper body to just fold forward. Don't worry about straight or rounded spine. Just take the stretch that feels really good right now. Inhaling back up. Little rocking side to side. So you're onto one hip bone, sits bone here, rocking side to side. Straightening the legs out on the mat, pedaling the knees. Oh, Marley. Marley's back. Hi. You're going to take your right leg, cross it over the left, foot on the outside of the knee. So you can see my body had a tendency to do this. Take the interlaced fingers so we can lift the spine. So root to crown, flex that left foot as active left leg here. Inhaling, lifting, and then hugging that right thigh with your left arm, rotating to the right, right hand behind you. Deep twist. Let's inhale, release it a bit. And then exhale, twist again to the right. Looking behind you if it works for your head and neck. Coming back in, interlacing, straightening the spine, extending it, lifting the right leg up, back to extended legs onto the other side. Left leg over the right leg, about even with the knee. Make it comfortable. Interlaced fingers, pull the elbows in, lifting through the crown, straight back, flexed right foot, inhale. Taking the twist to the left, left hand behind you. Deep rotation of the spine from tailbone to crown. Inhale, release it, taking breath. And exhaling, rotating again to the left. Maybe a little bit further if you can, just a centimeter or two. Back to center, interlace lift. Left leg extends out. Inhaling the arms up, bending the knees, extending flat back. Rocking side to side. Feel the massage on the sits bone attachments there. This is a great way to wake up those attachments. They get very thick and stuck. This is a good way to unstuck them. And then eventually the head can bow forward. Notice my knees are bent. If you can straighten them and keep a flat back, that's great. I don't know that that will happen for me in this lifetime, but if it works for you, please do. Inhale the upper body back up. Let's bend the knees, feet on the mat. Extend the spine up, holding onto the tops of the shins. Inhaling the arms up, dropping them down. So feel this position. All right, you're feeling it. Chin towards the chest. Then lifting back up. Inhale, rounding the back, chin to the chest. Just halfway, coming back up. Again, chin to the chest. 2 more. Inhale, back up. Chin to the chest. Inhale, back up. This time hands come back down beside you. And let your upper body relax down. Bent knees, feet about hip width apart. So we're going to do lift into 4 bridge poses here. So 4 bridges, but we're going to do it slowly, peeling the tailbone off on the inhale. Arms come up overhead. And then on the exhale, articulating 1 vertebrae down at a time as arms come down. That's 1. 3 more. Inhale, lift 1 vertebrae at a time. Big inhale. Tops of the hands on the mat overhead. Doesn't work for your shoulders. Feel free to modify. Exhaling back down. 2 more. Exhale back down. 1 more time. Inhale, reaching overhead. Try not to top the chin, but keep the chin pointing. Head neutral, so keep the chin pointing to the heavens. This time you're going to keep the hips lifted. Exhale the arms down. You can stay here, shimmy the shoulders under. Interlace the fingers under your hips if you want to intensify, holding on to the bridge position. Releasing the interlaced fingers and shoulders back down. Nice. Extending the legs out on the mat. Inhale the arms overhead, stretching the body in both directions. And let the knees come to the chest. Hugging around the tops of the shins. Let the head relax down. Rock it side to side if that works. Releasing the arms down, palms facing down. Take the legs up. You don't have to straighten the legs. Take an easy, small straddle here and circle the feet in both directions. Flex and point. Releasing the lower legs, feet down. Take the right leg, cross it way over the left. If you want to take an eagle leg by wrapping behind the ankle, you can. Otherwise, just cross. Left foot is going to plant. Big inhale. And on the exhale, crossed legs rotate to the left. Head rotates to the right, keeping the shoulders square. That right shoulder will lift up a bit, that's fine. Deep rotational stretch. Any pain in the neck, bring the head back to neutral. If it feels good on your neck, you can look to the right to complete the spinal rotation. Inhaling the knees back to center, head back to center. Uncross. Take a breath in center here. Other side, left crossing over. You can do the eagle leg if you'd like. Not mandatory. Right foot down. Keep it planted and then roll onto the outside of the right foot as the crossed legs roll to the right. And you look towards the left. Feel the spinal rotation. One more breath. Head and legs come back to center. Uncross. Extend the legs out on the mat. Inhale up. Let's bring the knees to the chest one more time. This time hugging behind the thighs. Let the feet come towards the top of the mat. You can stay here or grab the outside edges of the feet before we go into Happy Baby and see if you can straighten those legs. Getting a good stretch here through the inner thighs. Now taking it up into a true happy baby. Rock it side to side. Releasing the feet. Feet come down. Stretch your body out on the mat. One more. Inhale, stretching in both directions. Arms come down. Heels towards the center. Toes fall open. Palms up as you find yourself in corpse pose for Shavasana. So go ahead and relax your body down. Nice and easy. Opportunity for all of the work you just did and all those poses to work their magic as you let your body release. Sinking deep into the earth, letting the prana flow where it needs to flow, the energy go where it needs to go for your perfect healing. No worries, no having to do anything, just allowing your body's magic to do its thing. Breathing deeply. Releasing any stress that might be hanging on, any tension with the up-breaths. Really let it go. Preparing yourself for a peaceful day. That chime is an invitation to slowly bring yourself back to center, back to your physical surroundings. Gently bringing yourself into some small movements, toes, fingers. Maybe rocking the head side to side. And working your way back up to seated. Preferably rolling to the right and taking a breath or two there if that works. That allows your heart to rise a little bit before coming all the way back up. I want to bring the heart up slowly. after deep relaxation. And as you come back, this piece is called Mysterious Road. I wrote it a few years back, and it felt appropriate for this time. A brand new road turns up every year. I navigate with hopes of losing last year's fear. The surroundings are familiar, though some landmarks have shifted. It feels some heavy burdens at this turn have been lifted. I travel with less baggage and feel lighter than before, but haven't lost my longing, my desire to explore. The sun hits the pavement, and for the moment I can't see. That which lies before me is bathed in mystery. Taking a deep breath in, prayer hands to the heart. On the exhale, bowing down, sealing in anything learned, anything gained. The divine light and love in me bows to and honors the divine light and love in all of you always. May love guide your way. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Tricia Schwaba. Feel free to check out my website. I have a lot of videos on there, and we are so thankful here at the warehouse that you joined us. Have a beautiful day. Be good to yourselves.